everyone, I'm Zara Borja and this is Cyber Singles. Today we're going to give tips on dating online when you're over 50 years old. Who says you cannot be sexy, dynamic, and over 50? Let's take a look.
So I don't feel any different. If I don't look in the mirror, I'm still, in my early 20s, and so I'm proceeding accordingly.
When I first started, which was a year ago, I didn't know many people in my world that were doing it, so I was sort of out there by myself. And come to find out that many of us are not computer literate, so they don't know how to get started. And in my case, I was lucky because my daughter just took over. I've since met people who have hired people to write their profiles for them, and that takes me back to another piece of what you look for when you're meeting someone online. Honestly and truly, reading their profile and hearing them speak in person, you can see a disconnect very, very quickly if there is one, and so I would look for that.
But I did go on JDate for 6 months and eHarmony.com. Feel free to cut those names out. Nobody under 83 wanted to go out with me.
But I think I think most of the good connections come out among the 30-somethings, maybe up to 40, because there's so many of those on those sites. When you get up into my more selected group, it's kind of a different story. There are websites for seniors, and I hate that word, but there are websites for seniors. I just never check them out.
In a year, many more men are now on it in their 60s and up, and I've actually met men who flirted with me who are 87. There's a man that there's 2 or 3 in their late 80s that are on there, and several in their 70s, and that's wonderful because they were not there a year ago.
I don't know how they work them from the inside, but here's what happened on eHarmony. Truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. They would pop onto my screen, "Oh, have we found the soulmate of your life? You guys matched in so many ways. This is the guy. Just answer these 10 questions." And they'd give you 10 questions that were, so easy and quiet that nobody could be either offended or, they'd say, "Would you rather go to a Mexican restaurant or an Italian restaurant? Would you rather hike slow or fast?" You couldn't tell who somebody was by these questions. So I answered the 10 questions and nobody ever responded.
I think in terms of the older group dating now, I think that people, if they really used their past relationships properly and learned from them, I think they have a much better shot at having a successful one later on in life, because they have learned what works and what doesn't, and what works and what doesn't for them. And if they're smart, they will have better relationships, in the future. There are a lot of people online who are meeting other people online. The interesting thing about men online who are, say, over 60 or even 70, and they very often indicate that they want to meet someone in their 30s or 40s, So the women at the same age as the men have that little problem where the men would prefer overlooking them for some 35-year-old, So that is a sore point with a lot of women. And I have to say that a lot of women my age they're very intimidated by it, by the process, because they feel that they're going to be rejected.
And one of the things is I tell my real age, and everybody has said to me, "Don't tell your real age." I said, you know what? If I went out with somebody and I found they had lied on their age, I would never go out with them. That would be the deal breaker. And so I always told my age, and I think that men would like to go out with somebody 10 or 15 years younger than they are. So I didn't get any dates off of it, really.
Well, I know a woman in my writers group who met her husband online, and I don't know that they're so interesting, except that anytime anybody over 60 falls in love like it's for the first time and gets married, I think that's pretty exciting, you know.
Romance is timeless if you ask me. Until next time, this was Cyber Singles.